A chaotic ending to a contentious battle over Ohio's heartbeat bill. Wednesday afternoon, the House's conservative majority passed the measure, effectively clearing the bill's final roadblock.
House stands at recess.
We as legislators are obligated to secure the rights of the people, and that means we are obligated to ensure that every child has a right to the breath of life.
Passage came despite pushback from chamber Democrats.
The women of Ohio who will be strangled, literally, by the fact that we may die trying to carry to term this fetus that this body and the body across the hall and the governor will force us to carry to term. What will we do next?
17 representatives spoke during the 2-hour hearing, 12 of whom were Democrats speaking against the bill. The Democrats offered 5 amendments, all of which were shot down.
Therefore, the amendment is laid upon the table.
Representative Beth Liston, who is a doctor, testified that at 6 weeks, when a fetal heartbeat can be detected, the fetus has neither a brain nor lungs and cannot survive outside of the womb.
Some will argue that fetal viability is an ever-changing concept, and I can tell you that it is absolutely not. We are nowhere near the technology to support neonates for 6 weeks, or 12 weeks, or 16 weeks, or 20 weeks, which is where the law currently stands.
Republicans remain steadfast that the fetus should be considered a separate human being and afforded individual rights, the most basic of which is to live. Their arguments ranged from biblical to scientific to those that would keep fact-checkers in business.
And every time an abortionist performs an abortion, he is exploiting women. He's ridding her of a product that she and her partner have produced. And then to add insult to injury, he charges her to do so and then sells the baby parts for profit.
Everyone in the room was a part of one of 2 camps, either the woman's right to choose or the baby's right to live. But for women who find themselves in the gray area, like Mary Van Nortwick, this type of sweeping legislation has real, life-threatening consequences.
Even after 50 years, this is probably one of the worst experiences of my life.
At 22, in a pre-Roe v. Wade world, Mary Van Nortwick was happily married and expecting her first child. Around the 5-month mark, something went wrong, and she began to bleed. She was rushed to the hospital where they told her the terrible news. She had lost the baby.
But I was still in some kind of terrible labor. I was still bleeding. The doctor would come in periodically with the nurse to see what was happening. It was not until about 9:30 in the evening, so I'd been in the hospital since 2:30, that he came in and with the nurse beside him said, "Mrs. Kurtz, if we do not perform a D&C at this moment, you will bleed to death. Do you understand what I am saying?"
Even though the fetus had died, the doctor was legally bound to wait until the matter became life-threatening so he wouldn't be accused of performing an illegal abortion.
And he waited until he could say those magic words that I was about to die before he was willing to perform a life-saving D&C.
Mary says that because the current heartbeat bill leaves little room for exceptions, she's worried others will have to endure similar cruelties.
I was wanting this baby, and I lost it through no fault of my own and had to wait to the point of my own death being possible before he would perform life-saving surgery because he was afraid of being accused.
Under the current version of the heartbeat bill, doctors who perform abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected face felony charges, loss of medical license, potential jail time, and a $20,000 fine. Opponents of the bill say this will deter doctors from practicing in our state. The bill now heads to Governor DeWine's desk, where it will be signed into law. For Spectrum News, I'm Molly Martinez.